The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber groaned open, revealing a sight that would have broken lesser minds. The chamber stretched impossibly wide, its curved walls reaching toward a dome that seemed to capture actual starlight. Thousands of alien beings filled the terraced seats, their forms ranging from crystalline entities that pulsed with inner light to writhing masses of tentacles that defied description. Ambassador Jake Miller stepped forward, his polished boots clicking against the smooth obsidian floor. Behind him walked Dr. Rebecca Torres, humanity's chief xenobiologist, and General Paul Davis, whose military bearing seemed almost quaint in this cosmic arena. The three humans looked tiny against the vastness of the chamber, three specks of flesh and bone surrounded by the most powerful beings in the galaxy. At the chamber's heart sat the High Arbiters, 12 beings so ancient and evolved that their true forms remained hidden behind energy fields. Their spokesperson, a creature called the Prime Voice, towered above the rest on a floating platform of pure energy. Its voice resonated through every translation device in the chamber, creating a harmony that made human bones vibrate. The species known as humanity stands before this council accused of crimes against galactic peace, the Prime Voice announced. Your rapid expansion, your aggressive territorial claims, and your disturbing military buildup threaten the stability we have maintained for 10,000 years. Miller felt the weight of 10 billion human souls resting on his shoulders. Earth's greatest diplomatic mind, he had negotiated trade deals and peace treaties across dozens of star systems. But nothing had prepared him for this moment. The very air seemed thick with power, charged with the collective will of species that had mastered the stars when humanity was still discovering fire. The tribunal of charges began reading humanity's alleged crimes. Each accusation hit like a physical blow. Unauthorized colonization of 14 star systems, construction of military installations without council approval, development of weapons technology beyond acceptable parameters for a Level 2 civilization. The list continued, each item building toward an inevitable conclusion. In the gallery reserved for witnesses, representatives from humanity's neighbors watched with barely concealed satisfaction. The slug-like Morton had always resented human mining operations in their territory. The insectoid Kythera clicked their mandibles in approval as each charge was read. Even the peaceful Alterian traders who had first welcomed humanity to the galactic community seemed convinced that their former allies had overstepped bounds. Dr. Torres leaned close to Miller's ear. The atmospheric readings are incredible, she whispered. Some of these beings generate electromagnetic fields that could power a small city. We're completely outmatched here. General Davis remained silent, his experienced eyes scanning the chamber's defensive systems. Automated weapon platforms hung from the ceiling like sleeping predators. Energy barriers flickered between sections, ready to contain any violence. This place had been designed to intimidate, and it was working perfectly. The Prime Voice's energy field pulsed brighter as it prepared to deliver humanity's sentence. Before we pronounce judgment, the accused may offer final testimony. Miller stepped forward, his voice surprisingly steady, despite the cosmic pressure bearing down on him. Honored arbiters, humanity stands ready to answer these charges. But first, I must ask a question that will determine the nature of our response. A ripple of surprise passed through the chamber. No species had ever questioned the arbiters directly during a sentencing hearing. The audacity was either brilliant or suicidal. Speak your question, human, the Prime Voice replied, curiosity coloring its harmonic tones. Miller's expression remained calm, but his eyes held a cold intelligence that had not been there moments before. How many of your surveillance networks have been monitoring human space over the past 50 years? The question seemed innocent enough, but something in Miller's tone sent waves of unease through the nearest observers. The Alterian representative's delicate features twisted with confusion. The Mortain delegate's eye stalks twitched nervously. All expansion activities are monitored according to standard protocols, the Prime Voice answered. Your activities have been under constant observation since first contact. Miller nodded slowly as if this answer confirmed something he had already suspected. And during this constant observation, how many human ships have you detected beyond our declared territorial boundaries? Approximately 12,000 vessels engaged in colonization, mining, and patrol activities, came the immediate response from the Council's databanks. 12,000, Miller repeated, his voice carrying across the vast chamber. That's fascinating. Dr. Torres, would you please share our actual fleet numbers with the Council? Dr. Torres stepped forward, her tablet glowing as she accessed classified Earth Defense Force records. Her voice carried clearly through the chamber's acoustics. According to our most recent census, humanity operates approximately 47,000 starships across all categories: combat vessels, exploration craft, colony ships, mining platforms, research stations, and deep space monitoring arrays. The numbers hit the chamber like a shockwave. 47,000 ships when they had only detected 12,000. The mathematical impossibility of the statement sent alien minds reeling. The surveillance networks of the Galactic Council were absolute, infallible, perfect. They had never failed to track a single vessel in 10 millennia of operation. Miller's smile was cold and calculating. It appears, honored arbiters, that your constant observation may not have been quite as thorough as you believed. In the witness gallery, the Kithra representatives' clicking intensified to a panicked rhythm. The Morton delegates' eye stalks drooped with dawning horror. Even the energy beings in the upper tiers pulsed with what could only be interpreted as shock. General Davis stepped forward for the first time, his weathered face bearing an expression of grim satisfaction. Perhaps the Council would be interested to know where those 35,000 undetected ships have been operating. The Prime Voice's energy field flickered, a sign of distress that had not been seen in living memory. This is impossible. Our detection grids are absolute. Your detection grids, Miller said quietly, can only find what they're designed to look for, and apparently they weren't designed to find us. The chamber erupted into chaos as alien representatives began frantically contacting their home governments. If humanity could hide 3/4 of their fleet from the galaxy's most advanced surveillance network, what else were they hiding? What else had the Council failed to detect? As alarms began sounding throughout the massive station, Miller maintained his calm demeanor. Shall we continue with the charges, honored arbiters? Or would you prefer to discuss how humanity might be willing to share some of our apparently superior stealth technology? The trial had become something else entirely. The chaos in the Galactic Council chamber reached a crescendo as alien representatives shouted across translation barriers, their voices creating a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and harmonic frequencies. Emergency protocols activated throughout the massive station as governments across the galaxy demanded immediate explanations for the surveillance failure. Ambassador Miller stood calmly in the center of the storm, watching as the most powerful beings in the galaxy struggled to process the impossible truth. Dr. Torres had already connected her tablet to the chamber's main display systems, and now holographic projections showed the real scope of human expansion across the galaxy. The images were staggering. Human outposts dotted star systems that the Council had classified as uninhabited wilderness. Mining operations extracted resources from asteroids that sensors had reported as empty space. Most disturbing of all were the research stations positioned at strategic points throughout galactic trade routes, their advanced sensors quietly gathering intelligence on every ship that passed. General Davis activated his communication device, sending a coded signal that would change everything. Phase 1 is complete, he said simply. Across human space, sleeper agents who had lived among alien populations for decades suddenly activated sophisticated jamming equipment. Trade stations went dark. Communication relays failed. Navigation beacons that had guided interstellar commerce for centuries began broadcasting false coordinates. The Kithera representatives' clicking reached a fever pitch as reports flooded in from their home territories. Our trade convoys have lost navigation. The relay stations in the Antares sector have gone completely silent. Similar cries of alarm erupted from dozens of other species. The Mortain delegate's eye stalk swiveled frantically as it tried to process incoming distress signals. The crystalline Nexari pulsed with rapid, panicked light patterns as their communication networks suffered systematic failures. Dr. Torres manipulated the holographic display, revealing the true extent of humanity's infiltration of galactic infrastructure. For 50 years, human technicians have maintained, upgraded, and improved systems across 300 star systems. We've been trusted members of the galactic community, working alongside your people, learning your technologies, understanding your weaknesses. The Prime Voice's energy field fluctuated wildly as it tried to maintain control of the rapidly deteriorating situation. This is an act of war. You have deliberately sabotaged critical infrastructure. Miller's expression remained unchanged. We have temporarily disabled certain systems to ensure this conversation proceeds without outside interference. Think of it as a demonstration of good faith. The statement's absurdity was lost on no one. Crippling half the galaxy's communication network was hardly a gesture of friendship. But the casual ease with which humanity had accomplished this feat sent chills through every alien present. A new voice cut through the chaos. Commander Lisa Park materialized as a hologram beside the human delegation, her military uniform bearing insignia that no Council database recognized. Sirs, we're receiving multiple surrender requests from alien vessels throughout the occupied zones. The word occupied hit the chamber like a physical blow. In the space of minutes, humanity had gone from defendants facing extinction to occupying forces controlling strategic territory across the galaxy. Miller nodded to the hologram. Acknowledge all surrender requests, Commander. Treat all prisoners according to the Terran Convention. No unnecessary harm to alien personnel or civilian populations. The Terran Convention was another revelation. Humanity had developed its own laws of warfare, its own ethical frameworks for galactic conflict. The Council had assumed that any human military doctrine would be primitive, based on their limited understanding of interstellar politics. The Alterian representative, a graceful being whose species had first welcomed humanity to the galactic community, stepped forward with trembling limbs. This cannot be real. We have been allies for decades. Our children have studied in your universities. Our researchers have collaborated on peaceful projects. Dr. Torres turned to face the Alterian, her expression softening slightly. And those collaborations continue to be valued, Ambassador Kell. Human students still learn in your institutions. Our researchers still work together on projects that benefit both our species. Nothing about our friendship has changed. Then why, the Alterian whispered, why do this? General Davis answered, his voice carrying the weight of military authority. Because friendship requires mutual respect, and respect requires understanding the true balance of power. Another hologram materialized, this one showing Admiral Sarah Kim aboard what appeared to be a massive command vessel. The ship's design was unlike anything in Council databases, its hull incorporating technologies that seemed to bend light itself. Ambassador Miller, we have confirmation from all sectors. Operation Revelation is proceeding ahead of schedule. All major trade routes are under our monitoring control. Galactic Fleet Command is requesting permission to respond, but their vessels cannot achieve target locks on our positions. The tactical implications were staggering. Humanity had not simply hidden ships from detection. They had developed stealth technology so advanced that active targeting systems could not lock onto them even when their locations were known. The Nexari representative pulsed with rapid, desperate light patterns. How is this possible? Our energy-based sensors can detect quantum fluctuations at the subatomic level. Dr. Torres smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. Your sensors work perfectly. They're detecting exactly what we want them to detect. She manipulated the holographic display again, showing energy signatures and sensor readings from across the galaxy. The data revealed the truth that would fundamentally alter every species' understanding of physics itself. Humanity developed practical quantum manipulation technology 17 years ago, she announced. We can alter the quantum signature of matter at the molecular level, making objects appear to be something entirely different to any scanning technology. The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembled aliens. Quantum manipulation was theoretical science, the holy grail of physics that dozens of species had pursued for millennia without success. If humanity had mastered this technology, they possessed capabilities that bordered on the divine. Miller stepped forward as the full scope of human advancement became clear. The charges against humanity assume that we are a Level 2 civilization, operating beyond our appropriate boundaries. Perhaps it's time to discuss what level we actually represent. The Prime Voice's energy field dimmed as the ancient being processed information that challenged 10,000 years of established galactic order. What are you saying? I'm saying, Miller replied calmly, that humanity never requested permission for our expansion because we never needed it. We achieved Level 5 civilization status 8 years ago. According to galactic law, we have been operating well within our rights as an advanced species. Level 5 civilizations were the theoretical pinnacle of development, possessing technology and capabilities that made them nearly godlike in their power. Only 3 species in galactic history had ever achieved this status, and all had transcended physical existence eons ago. The chamber fell into stunned silence as the implications became clear. Humanity had not violated galactic law by expanding beyond their authorized boundaries. They had simply grown so far beyond their original classification that the boundaries no longer applied to them, and they had done it all while maintaining the facade of primitive newcomers, learning from their betters, accepting guidance from their more advanced neighbors. The trial was over before it had truly begun. The silence in the Galactic Council chamber stretched like a taut wire ready to snap. Every alien representative stared at the 3 humans who had just claimed impossible advancement, their minds struggling to process the mathematical impossibility of what they had witnessed. The Prime Voice recovered first, its energy field stabilizing as ancient protocols engaged. Even if your claims are accurate, your methods constitute deception on a galactic scale. The Council cannot allow such manipulation to go unanswered. Ambassador Miller's expression hardened. Deception implies wrongdoing. We simply chose not to advertise our capabilities while learning about our neighbors. General Davis stepped forward, his weathered face bearing the expression of a veteran who had seen enough war to know when it was inevitable. Perhaps it's time to demonstrate exactly what those capabilities include. He activated his communication device again, this time broadcasting on open channels that every ship in the system could monitor. Fleet Command, initiate Phase 2, full tactical display. The response was immediate and terrifying. Space around the Council station erupted into brilliant light as human vessels decloaked throughout the system. What had appeared to be empty void moments before now revealed the largest military formation in galactic history. Dr. Torres manipulated the holographic display to show the tactical situation in real time. The numbers were impossible to argue with. 250 human capital ships surrounded the Council station, their positions perfectly coordinated to create overlapping fields of fire that covered every possible escape route. The alien representatives watched in growing horror as the display revealed the true scope of humanity's presence. The vessels were unlike anything in Council databases, their designs incorporating principles that challenged fundamental understanding of engineering and physics. Commander Park's hologram updated with new information. Phase 2 complete, sirs. All Council vessels are within our engagement envelope. We're detecting massive power spikes from their defensive systems, but they cannot achieve target locks. The tactical readouts showed the desperate attempts of galactic military forces to respond to the threat. Alien warships powered their weapons and raised their shields, but their targeting computers simply could not find anything to shoot at. The human vessels registered on sensors as empty space, despite being clearly visible to optical systems. The Morton delegate's eye stalks drooped with despair as it processed reports from its home fleet. Our battleships are fully armed and ready to fight, but they cannot engage targets that their computers insist do not exist. Miller nodded sympathetically. Quantum signature manipulation has that effect. Your weapons are designed to target matter with specific quantum properties. Since our ships register as quantum vacuum, your targeting systems classify them as empty space. The explanation made the situation even more terrifying. Humanity had not simply hidden their ships, they had made them technically invisible to any weapon system in the galaxy. It was a form of protection so absolute that it rendered all existing military technology obsolete. Admiral Kim's hologram shifted to show new readings from across human space. We're also receiving reports from Operation Lighthouse, sirs. All Council observation posts in human territory are now under our direct control. Another revelation that sent shockwaves through the Assembly. The Council maintained secret monitoring stations throughout every member species' territory, keeping watch for signs of unauthorized development or potential threats. These facilities were supposed to be undetectable, protected by the most advanced stealth technology available. Dr. Torres brought up a new display showing the locations of every Council surveillance post within 100 light-years of Earth. The detailed schematics revealed not only their positions but their internal layouts, security protocols, and operational procedures. We've known about these facilities since our second year in the galactic community, she announced. Our people have been working in them, maintaining them, upgrading their systems for decades. They've been unknowingly feeding us intelligence on Council operations while we fed them carefully crafted misinformation about our own activities. The Cathara representatives' clicking reached a panicked crescendo. You have compromised every aspect of our security. Our military communications, our surveillance networks, our defensive positions. Miller's response was delivered with cold precision. We have done exactly what any intelligent species would do when faced with a potentially hostile galactic community. We gathered information, assessed threats, and prepared appropriate responses. The Prime Voice's energy field flickered with what could only be interpreted as fear. This level of infiltration constitutes an act of war against the entire galactic community. Does it? General Davis asked, his tone conversational despite the cosmic tensions filling the chamber. Because from our perspective, it looks like reasonable security precautions. After all, you did just put us on trial for extinction. The statement hit like a physical blow. The Council had indeed been preparing to order humanity's complete destruction, wiping out 10 billion lives to maintain galactic stability. From that perspective, humanity's preparation seemed not aggressive but desperately defensive. Another hologram materialized, this one showing Captain Maria Santos aboard what appeared to be a space station of unprecedented size. The structure dwarfed anything in Council records, its hull bristling with technologies that defied classification. Ambassador Miller, we have achieved stable orbit above the Council homeworld. The planetary defense grid is attempting to target our position, but their systems cannot achieve lock-on. Shall we proceed with the demonstration? The casual mention of humanity's ability to appear above the most heavily defended world in the galaxy sent waves of terror through the assembled representatives. The Council homeworld was protected by defensive systems that could destroy entire fleets, its location a closely guarded secret known only to the highest levels of government. The fact that humanity had not only located this world but positioned a massive installation above it spoke to intelligence capabilities that exceeded anything previously imagined. Dr. Torres accessed another display, this one showing real-time views of the Council homeworld from orbit. The planet's surface was clearly visible, along with detailed scans of its defensive installations, population centers, and government facilities. Quantum manipulation technology has interesting applications for long-range reconnaissance, she explained conversationally. When you can alter the quantum signature of photons, you can essentially see through any form of concealment or shielding. The implications were staggering. If humanity could see through any defensive measure, no military installation in the galaxy was truly secure. No secret was truly hidden. No defensive position was truly safe. The Alterian representative stepped forward again, its graceful form trembling with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. What do you want from us? What are your terms? Miller's expression softened slightly as he looked at the being whose species had first welcomed humanity to the stars. We want what every species wants, Ambassador Kell. Respect, security, and the right to exist without fear of extinction. He turned to address the entire Council, his voice carrying across the vast chamber with absolute authority. The charges against humanity are based on the assumption that we are primitive aggressors who must be controlled or eliminated. I suggest that assumption requires significant revision. General Davis activated his communication device one final time. Fleet Command, prepare for Phase 3. Full demonstration of capabilities. The words sent a chill through every alien present. If Phase 2 had revealed humanity's overwhelming military superiority, what horrors awaited in Phase 3? The words Phase 3 hung in the chamber's atmosphere like a death sentence. Every alien representative felt the weight of impending revelation, understanding that whatever humanity was about to demonstrate would fundamentally alter the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Ambassador Miller stepped closer to the Council platform, his calm demeanor more terrifying than any show of aggression could have been. Before we proceed with the demonstration, I want to be absolutely clear about something. Everything you have seen so far represents defensive capabilities only. Dr. Torres manipulated the holographic display to show energy readings from the human fleet surrounding the station. The tactical analysis revealed something that defied belief. Despite their overwhelming numerical superiority and advanced technology, the human vessels had not powered their primary weapon systems. Our ships currently have their main armaments offline, she explained to the stunned assembly. What you're seeing is our reconnaissance and defensive posture, not our combat configuration. The Nexari representative pulsed with rapid, panicked light patterns. You mean this entire display of force has been conducted without even arming your weapons? General Davis nodded grimly. Phase 3 will demonstrate what happens when we actually prepare for combat. Captain Santos's hologram updated from her position above the Council homeworld. Phase 3 authorization received. Activating primary weapons systems across all vessels. The tactical displays exploded with new information as human ships throughout the galaxy powered up armaments that registered energy outputs beyond anything in Council databases. The readings were so extreme that multiple alien representatives initially dismissed them as sensor errors. The Prime Voice's energy field fluctuated wildly as its ancient systems processed the impossible data. These readings cannot be accurate. No single vessel could generate power outputs equivalent to a star's corona. Dr. Torres smiled coldly. You're correct that no conventional vessel could achieve those numbers. However, we stopped building conventional vessels quite some time ago. She brought up technical specifications that made several alien minds literally shut down from computational overload. The human ships were not simply advanced versions of existing technology. They were built on entirely different principles that treated matter and energy as interchangeable resources. Controlled antimatter fusion, Dr. Torres announced casually, combined with zero-point energy extraction and quantum field manipulation. Each of our major vessels essentially carries the power output of a small sun. The mathematical implications were staggering. A single human ship possessed enough destructive capability to sterilize entire star systems. The fleet surrounding the Council station could rewrite the galactic map if deployed against civilian targets. Admiral Kim's hologram shifted to show deployment patterns across human space. All defensive positions are now at full combat readiness. Our deep space installations have activated their planetary defense protocols. Another revelation that sent chills through the assembly. Humanity had not simply hidden ships. They had constructed fortified positions throughout their territory that could project force across interstellar distances. The display showed the scope of these installations. Massive space stations positioned at gravitational balance points, their weapons capable of striking targets hundreds of light years away. The strategic implications were overwhelming. Humanity could potentially attack any world in the galaxy from the safety of their own territory. The Mortain delegate's eye stalk swiveled frantically as it processed reports from across the galaxy. Our intelligence services are detecting similar installations in 47 star systems. How did we miss fortifications of this magnitude? Miller's answer was delivered with devastating simplicity. Because they weren't there yesterday. The statement took several moments to process. When the full implications became clear, the chamber erupted into panicked chatter. Alien representatives shouted questions and demands across translation barriers, their voices creating a cacophony of terror and disbelief. Dr. Torres waited for the chaos to subside before explaining. Quantum manipulation allows for accelerated construction techniques that your physics would classify as impossible. We can assemble matter at the molecular level, creating structures that would normally require years to build in a matter of hours. The technology described was so advanced it bordered on magic. Humanity could literally will massive installations into existence, reshaping matter according to their needs with the precision of thought itself. Commander Park's hologram provided another update. Phase 3 deployment complete. All strategic targets throughout the galaxy are now within our engagement envelope. The tactical display updated to show the true scope of humanity's reach. Red targeting indicators appeared above every major world, every military installation, every population center of significance. The message was clear. Nowhere in the galaxy was beyond human reach. The Kithara representatives' clicking slowed to a defeated rhythm. You could destroy our entire civilization within hours. Minutes, General Davis corrected grimly. But that has never been our intention. He activated a new display showing Earth's current defensive status. The planet was surrounded by installations that dwarfed anything previously imagined. Their combined firepower capable of holding off invasion fleets from the entire galaxy. For 50 years, we have prepared for the possibility that contact with galactic civilization might end badly. We developed technologies and strategies designed to ensure human survival regardless of political outcomes. The Alterian representative stepped forward again, its delicate features marked by desperate hope. Then this was never about conquest? You don't intend to subjugate the galaxy? Miller's expression softened as he looked at the being whose species had shown humanity its first kindness among the stars. Ambassador Kell, humanity has no interest in ruling anyone. We simply refuse to be ruled by others. He turned to address the full council, his voice carrying the weight of absolute authority backed by unlimited power. The charges against humanity assume that we are a threat to galactic stability because we have expanded beyond our authorized boundaries. I submit that those boundaries were never appropriate for our actual capabilities. Dr. Torres brought up the final display, showing humanity's true position in galactic civilization. The data revealed research programs, technological developments, and scientific breakthroughs that placed human knowledge centuries ahead of the most advanced council species. We request immediate reclassification as a Level 5 civilization, Miller announced, with all rights and privileges thereof, including unlimited expansion rights and complete autonomy in our internal affairs. The Prime Voice's energy field dimmed as the ancient being processed the formal request. Level 5 status would grant humanity virtual independence from council oversight, along with the right to claim any unoccupied territory they could defend. And if the council refuses this request? The Prime Voice asked, though the answer was already clear. General Davis's smile was cold and final. Then the council will discover why humanity chose to demonstrate our defensive capabilities first. Because what you've seen today is what we built to protect ourselves. You haven't seen what we built to protect others from. The threat was absolute and undeniable. Humanity possessed the power to enforce their will on the entire galaxy. But they were offering to use that power responsibly, in exchange for recognition and respect. The choice facing the council was simple: grant humanity the status their capabilities had earned, or face the consequences of opposing a species that had quietly become the most powerful force in galactic history. The trial had become a negotiation from a position of overwhelming strength. The Galactic Council chamber had fallen into the kind of silence that comes before momentous decisions that reshape history. The assembled representatives of 10,000 worlds faced a choice that would determine the future of galactic civilization itself. The Prime Voice's energy field pulsed slowly as the ancient being processed data streams from across the galaxy. Reports flooded in from every major world, every military command, every intelligence service. The message was universal. Humanity's demonstration of power was absolute and undeniable. Ambassador Miller stood calmly in the center of the cosmic storm, waiting for the council's response. Behind him, Dr. Torres monitored real-time intelligence feeds while General Davis maintained contact with human forces positioned throughout the galaxy. The Alterian representative broke the silence first, its graceful form approaching the human delegation with careful, deliberate movements. Ambassador Miller, if the Council grants your request for Level 5 status, what guarantees can humanity provide regarding the use of your capabilities? Miller's response was measured and precise. The same guarantees that any civilization provides, Ambassador Kell. We will defend our interests, protect our people, and honor our agreements. The difference is that we now have the power to ensure those guarantees have meaning. Dr. Torres brought up a new display showing proposed territorial boundaries and expansion plans. The holographic map revealed humanity's true ambitions: vast regions of unexplored space far from existing galactic settlements, rich in resources but posing no threat to established civilizations. Our expansion goals focus on uninhabited systems, she explained to the assembly. We have no interest in displacing existing populations or challenging territorial claims. We simply want room to grow without artificial restrictions. The Nexari representative pulsed with cautious optimism. These territories you claim are considered worthless by most species. The stellar configurations are unstable, the resources difficult to extract. General Davis smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. Worthless to conventional technology. With quantum manipulation capabilities, stellar instability becomes a power source and resource extraction becomes a matter of molecular reorganization. The statement revealed another layer of humanity's technological supremacy. Not only could they build impossible things and hide them from detection, but they could thrive in environments that other species found uninhabitable. Captain Santos's hologram updated from her position above the Council homeworld. Ambassador, we're detecting movement from the planetary defense grid. They're attempting to scan our installation. Let them scan, Miller replied calmly. Full transparency from this point forward. The tactical displays showed the results of the Council homeworld's most sophisticated sensor sweeps. The data revealed a space station so massive and complex that alien engineers would need centuries just to understand its basic principles. The Mortain delegates' eye stalks focused on the technical readouts. This installation? It's larger than our capital city. How did you construct something of this scale without our detection? Dr. Torres manipulated the display to show construction footage that had been recorded in real time. We built it during this conversation. Quantum fabrication allows for construction at the speed of thought. The footage showed matter literally assembling itself from quantum foam, guided by human technology that treated the fundamental forces of physics as construction tools. In the space of hours, humanity had built a fortress above the galaxy's most secure world. The implications were staggering. If humanity could construct installations of this magnitude during a diplomatic meeting, there was no limit to what they could achieve given proper time and resources. Admiral Kim's hologram provided the final update that would seal the Council's decision. All human vessels are now standing down from combat alert. Weapons systems offline, shields at minimum power. We're transmitting our formal territorial claims and diplomatic proposals. The gesture was carefully calculated. By powering down their weapons while maintaining their strategic positions, humanity demonstrated both their confidence in their technological superiority and their genuine desire for peaceful coexistence. The Prime Voice's energy field stabilized as the ancient being reached its conclusion. The Galactic Council recognizes the technological achievements of humanity and acknowledges that your civilization has advanced beyond previous classifications. Ripple of relief passed through the human delegation, though their expressions remained carefully neutral. The recognition they had sought was finally being offered. Therefore, the Prime Voice continued, humanity is hereby granted Level 5 civilization status, with all rights and privileges thereof. Your territorial claims are approved, and your autonomy in internal affairs is confirmed. The chamber erupted into activity as alien representatives began transmitting the decision to their home governments. The balance of power in the galaxy had fundamentally shifted, and every species would need to adjust their policies accordingly. Miller stepped forward to address the Council one final time. Humanity accepts this recognition and pledges to use our capabilities responsibly. We look forward to continued cooperation with all galactic civilizations as equals rather than subjects. The word equals carried special significance. For the first time in galactic history, a species had achieved Level 5 status through pure technological advancement rather than evolutionary transcendence. Humanity would remain physically present and politically active while possessing capabilities that bordered on divine. Dr. Torres began shutting down the tactical displays. Their purpose served. Our defensive installations will remain active to ensure galactic stability, but our expansion activities will proceed through normal diplomatic channels. General Davis added the final assurance that would allow the galaxy to sleep peacefully. Human military forces will continue to monitor potential threats to galactic peace. Our capabilities are available to defend any civilization that faces extinction-level dangers. The statement transformed humanity from a potential threat into the galaxy's ultimate protector. With technology capable of reshaping matter at will and strategic positions throughout known space, they had become the guardians of galactic civilization itself. The Kithra representative approached cautiously, its clicking now carrying tones of respect rather than fear. What happens now? How does the galaxy adjust to this new reality? Miller's smile was warm and genuine, the cold calculation replaced by diplomatic wisdom. Now we learn to work together as partners rather than judge and accused. Humanity has much to offer the galactic community, just as we have much to learn from our neighbors. As the council session formally concluded, and representatives began departing to carry news of the historic decision to their home worlds, the three humans remained in the chamber for a moment longer. Think they bought it? Dr. Torres asked quietly. General Davis chuckled. They bought exactly what we wanted them to buy. The demonstration was perfect. Miller nodded, his expression thoughtful. The best part is that everything we showed them was completely real. We just didn't mention that we've had these capabilities for 20 years and have been holding back. to avoid exactly this situation. The truth was the final secret that humanity would keep. They had achieved their technological breakthroughs decades earlier, but had spent years perfecting the art of appearing less advanced than they actually were. The trial had been an opportunity to reveal their true capabilities in a controlled manner that ensured respect rather than fear. As they prepared to leave the chamber that had nearly witnessed humanity's extinction, the three humans looked out at the stars that now belonged to them as much as any other species. The galaxy had declared war on humanity's expansion. Humanity had answered not with words but with fire carefully controlled and precisely applied. They had won without firing a single shot, achieving victory through the demonstration of overwhelming power tempered by restraint. The universe would never be the same, but it would be safer under humanity's watchful protection.